Hey guys, welcome back to Pick Up the Truth. Now, today I'd like to talk about uh, chapter 3 of Genesis. But first, I want to talk to you guys for real and explain to you why I do the things that I do on this channel. And I want you to understand, in no way am I trying to tear down somebody's beliefs or tear down your faith in something, even though you've been programmed with it in your entire life. It's ultimately up to you to come to the decision if what you've been believing your entire life is legitimate or not. For me, I've already come to that realization and truth that allows me to see all the things that program us in our daily lives, such as the religions they give us to divide each other with. And we have to understand when we begin to seek truth in our lives, it may not lead us to where we thought we wanted to go. I mean, it will tear down walls in your life. It will tear down the things you were programmed to believe in. And if you're not ready for that, it's going to seem like somebody's attacking you or your personal beliefs, and that's not the situation. This is to offer you the truthful knowledge of what the programming of religion truly is. Now, it's up to you to see it, and hopefully you're at your walk in truth, that you will be able to look at this information with an open mind and come to a natural, truthful conclusion. Because these days we have a lot going against us as a people. You know, they've been trying to divide and halt truth with this coronavirus mind control that they've implemented upon the population. And we've seen it change our loved ones' thoughts. We've seen it change our loved ones' actions. They even changed the way they think about us. So yeah, we know their mind control is real. And we also know that we're going through a tough time now with the racial division they're trying to implement upon the population as well. And all of these things, even though we see them truthfully and we see them for the way they divide us, we also have to see how it affects the people that actually believe in the way, in the world they believe in. Because we no longer believe in the world that they believe We see that as a world of deception and division because we see truth. But the majority of the population still sees it as the world they have faith in, the world they believe in. And it's hard for us to live in that world with the people we love and care about when we see the majority of the people being deceived and divided against each other. That's why it's important to know truth, because truth is the power that we need. Truth energizes our soul and the faith we need to have in it. We are people of faith. We do need to believe in the natural creation. We do need to believe in what created our soul, because we know it's real. Our soul gives us the energy to exist in the physical, in our physical body. And we know our physical body was created by the same energy that gives it life. And we have to continue to believe in that energy, to believe in the energy that created all, even if we know it's not in this book that we're revealing and exposing as the lies and deceptions that it always has been, including the gods within it. These gods within this book did not create all, did not create us, did not create the energy that gives us life. We're all part of the energy that created all. That's why it's hard for us to believe in the things that are outright deceptions. And when we see it for what it truly is, especially when we wake up to it more and more. It just makes us more powerful in the true energy of creation itself. Because nothing is more powerful than what created this earth. And nothing is more powerful than what created the life on this earth. Including the man-made deceptions and divisions that program us to this day. None will be able to stand against the natural creation and the power within. Truth just is. That's why it's powerful. It stands like a solid rock and you can't move it. You can't avoid it. They can cloak it with the illusion that they force us to live in, but we'll always wake up and expose their lies. Their lies and atrocities against humanity. We have to put our faith in the true creation of this earth, even though we don't know its name. But that's the adventure in all of this, isn't it? I mean, we can look at the atrocity and the mind control and the enslavement that they've made us live our entire lives, but hell, once you even get past all of that, you can still see the goodness in the things that you still do not know in truth. I mean, what are the natural ways this earth generates energy, and how does that energy work with us, and how does it make us better? And there's still so many things that we can learn. What are the natural ways we can sustain our bodies from the earth? And what are the ways we can live with the animals that live freely on this earth? What are the ways we can move away from these cities that enslave us and start to live and rely on the earth that was created for us? Real things we have to stop and think about. I know things are hard, but having faith in something that's real and something that's natural, such as true creation, is important. Especially when every day we learn more and more about the lies that we were taught to believe in. Because every lie we strip away that we thought was truth hurts. It hurts our soul, so we need that belief in what's natural and what's true. That's why I expose the Bible, because the things in this Bible are man-made. They're not natural and they're not true. And even sounds more ridiculous when the more truth you know. So we're gonna continue with Genesis 3. Now, in Genesis 1, we learned how they recorded every single detail that their God created. Every single thing in detail was documented without writing utensils, without languages created, without letters created, without numbers created, without anything to document anything with, no utensils to carve things in stone, but somehow every detail of creation itself was logged and recorded in the splendor that they presented it with. Now, if that doesn't sound ridiculous enough, in Genesis 2, we're led to believe that the man that this God created was given the responsibility of naming every animal and creature that roamed the earth and was created for the earth, okay, without him knowing language or numbers, or having the ability to travel to see each and every one of these animals with. Or did this supposed God present Adam with each and every animal that was created. I don't. Come on, people. These are the things. These are the unrealistic things that we battle in this Bible. I mean, it's ridiculous. Okay? At this time, before Genesis 3, there's supposed to be language. And there's supposed to be all the creation that we see on the earth. Supposed to be numbers. There's supposed to be east, west, north, and south. So that's that's the basis for your map. And at this time, even part of the lands were divided with borders and named with the names from the language that this so-called God created. I don't know, guys. And in Genesis 2, we're supposed to believe that this Adam that supposedly has no knowledge, okay? I mean, think about it. You're the first person created on this earth. What are you doing? What are you going to do? You have no knowledge of anything. You've never died, okay? You have no knowledge of death. You've never experienced anything. And everything you're doing, you're experiencing for the first time ever, okay? So you're born, you're created, this so-called God created Adam from dirt. He created his sophisticated physical body with all the sophisticated blood vessels and veins and arteries and muscles and organs that work together simultaneously to oh, come on. But that was made from dirt, from the dirt. Now, we know in nature that dirt is vital for life because it gives plants and trees and even animals life, because the food that comes from the soil is what gives us life and sustains the life within us. Okay? But I cannot see it creating a living being. I cannot. Not something sophisticated as humans. It's something unrealistic that's never happened before and will never happen again, because it didn't happen at all. I mean, we can't be expected to believe these things that we don't see happen naturally. Okay, that's how you know truth, and that's how you can have faith in the natural earth and the truth within it. Okay? Now let's take a look at Genesis 3. And it says, "Now the serpent was more crafty than any of the other wild animals that this Lord God had made." Okay, so their program God was saying that the serpent was more crafty than any of the wild animals that he had made. This God is already a he. Okay, even though you can't see him, you can't see. This God's not supposed to have. Does this God have sexual organs? I don't know. I didn't think that God had bodies to be called a he. or she. I thought they were just some kind of energy. I'm not sure. let's see. Now, the serpent, the snake, said to the woman, "Did God really say you must not eat from any tree in the garden?" Now, they want us to believe that a natural animal from creation spoke the language that I'm finding it hard to believe that even humans knew at that time, okay? It's supposed to be Adam and Eve, okay? How did they have any languages at all to speak with? Because it just blows my mind. There's nothing to write with. No pens, no pencils, no paper. You had stone. It took a long ass time to carve anything in, but yeah, I didn't see anything to carve with. They didn't mention making any carving utensils to document anything with, so I don't know. It's really boggling my mind what's going on here. Now, we all know that snakes cannot talk in nature. For real. Okay, we're looking for truth, solid truth, okay? And it's just not in here. Alright? Because we know for real that snakes cannot talk, never have been able to talk, and will never be able to talk, period. Okay? No matter what it says in this book. That's how you know this is not truth, okay? Now, plus I don't know, let's continue, okay? Still, if I try to wrap my mind around these program lies and deceptions, it's just gonna keep me from truth, because it's not even close to truth. Now, the woman said to the serpent, Eve said to the serpent, "We may eat fruit from the trees in the garden," but her program God told her, "You must not eat from the tree that is in the middle of the garden, and you must not touch it, or you will die." Okay. Number one, Adam or Eve, they know nothing of death. They've never died. They were just created. They know nothing of death. They would not be programmed with the natural fear of death like we are. Or should I say the unnatural fear of death like we are. Okay? Because everything lives and everything dies, and the energy always moves on and creates over and over and over again. We're not really dying, we're just moving on. Okay. The serpent says, "You will not certainly die." He says that to Eve. Okay? Like Eve would understand what death is anyway. And the fact that Eve doesn't understand, the fact that Eve doesn't explain she doesn't understand what death is tells you that this is a lie. Okay? Because somebody that doesn't know what death is would ask, "Well, what's death?" But we can see that this woman in this deception never asked what death is. For God knows that when you eat from it, your eyes will be opened and you will be like God. Okay, really? For God knows, the program God knows, that when you eat from the tree that this God supposedly made and created in nature, it's supposed to be good, why would God create one thing that's not good? Okay? And put it there for all of creation. How ridiculous does that sound? Okay? For God knows that when you eat from it, your eyes will be open and you will be like God, knowing good and evil. Okay. Number one, good and evil is only from this book. Okay? There's only what's natural and there's only what is a deception. There's nothing else. There's no programmed good and there's no programmed evil. They want you to believe in demons and angels and gods and devils, but it's only from these books. Nowhere in real life have we ever seen anything of the sort. I mean, we have to go with what we can see, what we can prove. What we know is concrete truth and what is not. Alright? This is crazy when they give us this shit in a book and call it truth, and they can't prove it. They expect us to believe it's the supernatural. Okay? No. If it was supernatural, you'd be able to prove it with your own eyes or ears or any of the natural senses we were created to sense things with. But you can't, because they're lies. Okay. Now, when the woman saw that the fruit of the tree was good for food and pleasing to the eye, and also desirable for gaining wisdom. Now, this tree is supposed to have knowledge. Knowledge from what? Knowledge from what? How was there any languages created at this time? Again, there's nothing to document this knowledge with. There's nothing. We know how limited the memory is of men and women. We know we wouldn't be capable of doing the things that they say Adam or Eve did in this Bible. It's not physically possible or mentally possible. Okay? I mean, if they truly created a man and just put it there on the earth, like they say in this book, the man wouldn't know which way was up, where it was at. He wouldn't have any sense of anything except for what is natural, the natural creation around him. He would see the animals. There would be no name for animals. That wouldn't come into the man's mind to name each of the animals. To name each of the animals with what? A language that he doesn't know? That wouldn't come into his mind. He might wonder what that thing is wiggling between his legs. I don't know. I mean, curiosity, natural human curiosity. You remember what it was like growing up as a child and exploring the natural things in life, including your body. You weren't thinking about learning languages. You were thinking more about experiencing things that, for real, experiencing things that are real, and experiencing things that are truthful. Okay, let's continue. Now, the woman said to the serpent, we may eat from the tree we may eat from the trees in the garden, but God did say, you must not eat from the tree that is in the middle of the garden, and you must not touch it or you will die. Now, you know how I feel about that. So, the serpent responds, you will not certainly die, to the woman. For this program, God knows that when you eat from it, your eyes will be open and you will be like God, knowing good and evil. And you know how I feel about that. When the woman saw that the fruit of the tree was good for food and pleasing to the eye, and also desirable for gaining wisdom, she took some and ate it. She also gave some to her husband. Now, why would she involve her husband in her bad deeds? If she consciously knew that what she was doing was wrong, why would she involve her husband so wholeheartedly into this, something she felt like it was wrong to be doing? So, when the woman saw that the fruit of the tree was good for food and pleasing to the eye, and also desirable for gaining wisdom, she took some and ate it. She also gave some to her husband, who was with her, and ate it as well. Then the eyes of both of them were opened, and they realized that they were naked. Okay. So y'all didn't realize you were naked before? I mean, how did you poop or pee? I mean, weren't there bodily fluids coming out of your holes? I mean, come on, let's get real. The dude, he didn't know he was naked, but he done named all of the fucking animals in the garden, okay? All of the fucking animals on the earth he's done named with languages. But the motherfucker didn't know he was naked and his dick was hanging out. Okay, this is bullshit, people. I mean, come on. He didn't realize that Eve had tits. And what was the bush? He didn't know what was inside the bush. Okay. Oh, come on, people. This is the kind of bullshit I'm talking about, where we're expected to believe this. I don't know. They realized they were naked, though, so they sewed some fig leaves together and made coverings for themselves. I don't know, guys. This is a lot of shit for me to try to comprehend, but let's continue. Then the man and his wife heard the sound of the Lord God as he was walking in the garden. Okay, so Adam and Eve heard the sound of the program God as the God was walking in the garden in the cool of the day. Okay, so God does have a body, just like we do? Really? How big is it? It doesn't say. Well, there's a lot of specifics already. They made borders on the land. They've named some of the land. They've named the waters. Adam named all the plants and animals when he was naked. Didn't know he was naked. Okay? So now, God walked in the garden, and we don't know how tall he was. They don't say anything like that. How big was God? What's he look like? So, he walked through the garden in the cool of the day, and of course these motherfuckers hid like little scared children. 'Cause, I don't know, so far God's never done anything for them to be scared of. So what makes them think he's gonna hurt them in any way? Created all these nice things for them. Gave them all this power and dominion over the nice things they created, or he created for them. Why would you be scared of the one who did all this for you? But they hid. They hid because they ate something that their God created for them. Go figure, man. I'd be asking the motherfucker, well, why did you put this shit in why did you make this a stumbling block for us anyway? I didn't think anything that's supposed to be good and natural would create a fucking stumbling block for me to fucking stumble upon and get in trouble with. What the fuck did you do that for? But hey, you did it. I'd be questioning the motherfucker. I'd say, well, damn it. Created everything good but this? Okay. Look, people, nothing that created all that's good. The creator of everything would not put stumbling blocks in our path. Okay? So one thing you have to understand. But they're going to sit up here and tell us all these fairy tale stories about what we should believe in and what we shouldn't. Okay. Let's see. But the Lord God called to the man, where are you? So, you're telling me the God that created all, the God that created every living creature, everything that you see, everything within existence, doesn't know where the fuck this man is? Okay, you're losing me here, people. Yeah, I heard you in the garden and I was afraid because I was naked, so I hid. Okay. Oh boy, I'm not going into that again, people. I'm not going into that again. You know how I feel about that. And he said, who told you that you were naked? Of course you're naked, dumbass. That's the way you were created. Have you eaten from the tree that I commanded you not to eat from? Okay, come on, guys. Just like I told you. There's nothing that should be created naturally that's going to trip humanity up and become a stumbling block. Okay? There's always a truthful reason for the creation of everything. It's up to us to understand the truthful reason why things are created the way they are. And if we're having a hard time finding out why things are created the way we are, then maybe the things that we're looking at aren't naturally created but man-made and need to be thrown away. Because they're either here to deceive us or divide us. That's what these systems that program our minds were meant to do. They're either meant to divide us or deceive us or distract us, or all put together. And that's what this book does. You know, it's not very hard to expose this book and the intentions that this book has for your mind. This book has a lot of bad intentions for your mind, to program it the way they want you to think. To program you to believe how they want you to believe in the unnatural things they want you to believe in. This God they have for you in this book, even the Jesus they claim as his son, there's no truth in this, people. There's no truth in this. And I'm not saying it to offend people or religions. I'm saying it because it's truth. They created this for your Trinity. You've got your Father, you've got your Son, and you've got your Holy Ghost. It's the pyramid. It's the Trinity. It's the Masonic Three. It's the book they program the majority with. Don't accept this. Don't live by it. Hell, try to do away with every way this book programs you to live, programs you to believe. Be your own person. Be who you were naturally created to be. And stay away from this program knowledge. I love you guys. Take care of yourself.